Okay, so I'm going to show you method 2, which is making a selection and then either filling that selection with the gradient tool or the paint bucket tool. You could certainly brush inside any selection that you make as well. So with this picture of my former student Sean, I just want to show you that as I'm working here with the layers, and I've got a lot of layers based on my background and different highlights, midtones, and shadows, I want to be doing my selecting inside the picture layer. Again, it might make sense to make a little copy of this in case you accidentally paint, then you have a copy. But your selections are always going to be made in the layer that is your background layer. So basically what I have is I have myself situated in one of the photographic layers, and then I'm going to go to the magic wand tool. Now, you may need to right click on your object selection tool to find your magic wand. And I like the magic wand because it selects by color. So if you click on a dark area or a dark green area, it's going to try to match those pixels. So let's say I want to select some of Sean's hair. I've already done this, prior to this video, but it's grabbing what they think is what Photoshop thinks is similar pixels here. So it's grabbing those dark areas, and that's where the selection is. Now, for his hair, I specifically made a layer. So I then, once I make my selection in the image layer, I then want to bounce over to the layer here that's new, and that's where I'm going to be doing my fill. So let's just say I need to make a brand new fill layer. Then I create that. I'm going to double click in here and call it hair 2, just for the purpose of this demonstration. And then I'm going to decide what type of fill I want to do. Now, you can fill with your gradient tool. You could also right click on your gradient tool and find the paint bucket. Mine actually happens to be right here in a different place, but both your paint bucket and your gradient are going to do different types of fills. So I like the gradient tool, and I'm probably going to choose something that is dark for my gradient. So when I go up to my options here, I'm going to look for maybe like a really dark blue that I can drop in to kind of match this monochromatic theme that I'm going with here. So maybe I'll just grab this blue. And as I click and drag, I know I'm in my empty layer up here, dragging across, and then it's going to fill in. Now, you can make your opacities for your gradient and your paint bucket 100% or less. If you want things to come through, make them less opacity. But I just went at about 56% opacity, and that looks pretty good for me. Now, to go to create a new selection, you are going to go to the select menu and you can deselect, or you can hit Control D, and that will also get rid of the selection as well. And then it lets you go back to your photo and back to your selection tool and go to a different area to select some more. With the magic wand, you may want to change the tolerance as you go. So if the selection is too much, you can change your tolerance up here. Or if your tolerance is too little, you can change your number. And then it will either increase or decrease your tolerance and select a bigger or smaller area depending on what you need.